You don't have a family either? That little girl's question cut through the late afternoon chill like a slap to the face. I remember I was sitting alone on that park bench, hands jammed deep in my coat pockets, thinking I was invisible. Just another guy with a perfect suit and a mess for a soul, lost in New York's gray winter. When she showed Yupe, a tiny thing, couldn't have been older than 3, with wild blonde curls, dirt on her cheeks, and a teddy bear held close to her chest like it was the only treasure she owned. The sleeves of her coat swallowed her hands, but her eyes, those eyes, saw right through me. She just stood there and asked, point blank, if I didn't have a family. For a second, I couldn't answer, like someone had stolen the air from my lungs. I'd spent years surrounded by people, colleagues, investors, all those voices filling up my days, but nobody ever really talked to me, not like that. Not in a way that mattered. No, I told her finally, my voice cracking a little. Not anymore. And instead of looking sad, she just nodded, like that was normal, like loneliness was something you just learned to carry. Me and Mommy don't have a family either. Just us and Teddy. She lifted her battered bear, a lopsided grin tugging at her lips. It's my birthday today. Mommy says we're having pizza and cake she saved up. But she's sad because we might have to sleep outside again if the shelter's full. I told her it'd be less cold if someone came to my birthday. You know, in that moment, all the so-called important things, meetings, deals, the constant hum of my phone, they just faded. This kid, this complete stranger, was inviting me to her birthday party, not because I could give her something, but because she saw me. Really saw me. I stood up, my legs stiff from the cold and the weight of too many empty nights, and said yes. Honest to God, I still don't know why. Maybe I was just tired of being a ghost in my own life. Maybe it was the way she smiled, all trust and hope, like I was someone worth inviting. She led me through the city, her boots slapping the sidewalk, chatting to her Teddy like it was the most natural thing in the world. The city looked different following her every broken sidewalk. Every flickering street lamp felt like it mattered. I remember being a boy myself. After the accident, took my parents how my grandmother patched me up with bedtime stories and hot soup, how she made even the smallest moments feel safe. When she died last winter, something in me turned off. I started living in numbers, not feelings, penthouse, promotions, all that, but birthdays didn't matter anymore. I didn't matter, not really. But that day, walking behind a 3-year-old who believed pizza could fix a broken world, I started to wonder if maybe there was still something worth hoping for. She brought me to an alley behind an old pharmacy, her party spot, just a cardboard bed and a wall warmed by a leaking heater. No lights, no banners, just her mother, Ava, trying to shield her daughter from the wind with a threadbare jacket. Ava sized me up instantly, protective and wary. Who could blame her? When I explained, she let me stay, though her eyes never softened. We huddled together, eating pizza off a box and splitting a single chocolate cupcake. Susan, a birthday girl, insisted I take the first bite. She closed her eyes, made a wish, and blew out the candle, whispering, "I wish nobody ever has to be lonely." That was it. Not for toys or a big house, just not to be alone. I felt something shift inside me, something real. For the first time in years, I wanted to laugh, to cry, to just be present. The next morning, I came back, but the alley was empty. Just the imprint of a child's shoe in the dirt. For days, I searched soup kitchens, shelters, church basements until I found them. Susan, coloring quietly at a folding table, and Ava, washing dishes for a meal and a place to sleep. I started visiting, always bringing something: food, books, a new pair of boots when Susan's shoes fell apart. I never made a big deal out of it, and Ava never asked for anything. When I tried to offer her money, she refused, fierce and proud. I want my daughter to see me fight for every bit of happiness, not get handed it, she said. You know what I mean? There's a kind of dignity you can't buy. So I found other ways, quiet ways. Paid off the shelter's bills, got a doctor to check Susan's cough, arranged for library cards. Ava knew, of course. She's sharp, but she also saw I wasn't trying to save them, I just wanted to be there. Little by little, the walls started to crack. We'd talk over cocoa, share the silence. Sometimes she'd open up, tell me about her old dreams: nursing school, The way she lost everything because someone she trusted broke that trust. How she ended up on the street, fighting for every inch. The more she talked, the more I saw her strength. Not the kind that shouts, but the quiet, steady kind that keeps showing up no matter how hard life gets. Then one afternoon, everything changed. A woman from Child Protective Services came to the shelter, said someone had reported Ava said Susan might not be safe. I'll never forget the look in Ava's eyes, the way she held on to Susan like she was holding the whole world. I made some calls, pulled every string I had. I put together documents, photos, records of everything Ava had done for her daughter, the hours volunteering, the doctor visits, everything. I showed up at the hearing, offered to be Susan's legal sponsor, swore I'd help keep them together. After a tense hour, the judge agreed. 6 months of supervision, Ava kept custody. When Ava broke down crying, I put my hand on her shoulder, and this time, she didn't pull away. Things shifted after that. Susan started giggling more. Ava started smiling at me, really smiling. And one chilly night, over hot chocolate in the shelter's community room, I finally asked them to move in just until they got back on their feet. I'll admit, it was weird at first. My place was too quiet, too clean. But they filled it with life. Susan running down the hall in fuzzy pajamas. Ava singing softly in the kitchen. With a little help, Ava got a job at a local clinic. She worked harder than anyone there, earned every bit of respect on her own. We found ourselves 3 broken people, piecing together something whole. I cooked for them badly. We shared old stories, and somehow, over late-night talks and burnt casseroles, we built a home. On Susan's 4th birthday, our house overflowed with laughter and balloons, the living room crowded with children who'd once called the street home. The banner was hand-drawn, the cake lopsided, the wishes loud. Ava, now back in nursing school part-time, ran the foundation we started to help single moms like her. I handled the paperwork, but it was their hope that made it matter. That night, after the cake and games, Susan climbed into my lap and asked, "You have a family now, right?" I looked across the room at Ava, then down at the little girl who'd taught me how to hope again. I pulled her close, kissed her head, and whispered, "Yeah, the best family in the world." Maybe life isn't about being rescued or rescuing someone. Maybe it's just about showing up for each other, day after day, until broken things become beautiful. So what do you think? Is it right that families are torn apart just because they're poor? Does kindness really have the power to save a life? Or is it just wishful thinking? Let me know what you believe down in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, stories that remind us how hope can find us in the unlikeliest places, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your own thoughts. Because sometimes just one honest question can change everything.